Hey there. Thanks for listening to Screen Facts with Jason Davis, your movie trivia and discussion podcast. I'm your host, Jason Davis, and you can follow us on Instagram at ScreenFactsPod. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com/podcast for more information about the show, including how you can support the show by donating or buying Screen Facts merchandise. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or movies you'd like us to talk about, please email us screenfacts@yahoo.com. Joining me for this episode is my good friend, Raushanah Williams. Welcome back.
What's going on, everybody?
And we're going to talk about a movie today. I'm so glad we decided to do a podcast about this movie.
Yes.
It's a movie that I haven't seen pretty much since it came out.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's one of those movies that I will watch periodically.
Okay.
And especially if I'm flipping and it happens to be on a station or a channel or whatever it is, I'm going to stop and watch it. And it's one of my mom's favorites.
I can understand why. Before we get started, do you want people to follow you on Instagram?
Yes, you can follow me at RawWillRocks. That's pretty much my handle for everything. It's for Instagram, TikTok.
That's RAWILL.
ROCKS.
All right.
Because I rock.
So today on the podcast, we're going to talk about the 1984 film All of Me. Directed by Carl Reiner, one of 4 films that he made with the star Steve Martin. This, The Jerk, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, and The Man with Two Brains. First of all, we got to talk about how brilliantly executed Steve Martin's performance is in this movie. The physical comedy in this movie is crazy good.
Before we even get there, let me just say this. When we decide we're going to do this particular movie,
right,
we do our research. We want to go make sure we got some things to talk about. But Carl Reiner, it just dawned on me. I'm like, wait. Carl Reiner, this is the father
of Rob Reiner.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, not only is this the father of Rob Reiner, this is Ocean's 11, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's a comedic genius. Yeah. It was, I should say, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
You know, he lived well into his 90s.
Yeah.
Good friends with Mel Brooks. They worked together on, I think it was Your Show of Shows back in the 50s, maybe?
Okay.
I think he wrote for the Dick Van Dyke Show. So, I mean, he's a comedic pedigree.
Comedy was his, that's his.
He goes way back, but like later on in his career, it was more directing. And, you know, The Jerk was a great Steve Martin movie. We talked about that on the podcast way back, Sue and I did. Yeah, I forgot that he directed this. The screenplay was partially written by Phil Alden Robinson. Now, I saw that name and I went, that name sounds familiar. And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh yeah. He wrote and directed the Kevin Costner film Field of Dreams, which is one of my favorite baseball movies. Great movie.
Yes.
We talked about that on the podcast pretty much right at the beginning. When I first started doing this years ago, it was like episode 3, I think.
Field of Dreams. That's a baseball movie of all baseball movies. Who else co-wrote this?
With an adaptation by Henry Olick, based on the unpublished novel Me Too by Edwin Davis.
Yes, that was what the name of the movie was supposed to be.
Me Too?
The name of the movie was originally supposed to be Me Too.
Oh, okay.
Also, because you know it's my favorite, like, who was supposed to be in this movie? Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. And I thought to myself, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think both of those actors could have pulled it off. I feel like it would have been a much different movie because they are such different actors.
Yeah, and I think that they have a different style of comedic greatness.
Yes.
Chevy Chase is real good at that dry, sarcastic kind of humor. I mean, you know, on SNL, he was known for falling down a lot and stuff.
Right.
What I think makes Steve Martin so great in this is he's, very believable. And he's also just really good at physical comedy.
To me, there are very few who do physical comedy like Steve Martin does physical comedy.
Yeah.
And it's so natural.
Yeah, exactly.
It just comes so natural. To me, my favorite physical comedians are Steve Martin and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both one of one. And his performance in this movie, it was amazing. And I don't know if people who aren't into acting or aren't into theater and performance, I think they watch something like that and they go, oh, he's so stupid, he's so silly, that's great, you know.
No.
Do you know how much work?
Oh, yeah.
Or how much that, I don't think people even understand what that takes.
When Edwina Cutwater takes over his body, number one, he has to project him being her.
Right.
But then it's also when she has control of one half of his body, like he's dragging the one leg.
There are so many nuances and there are so many pieces that he has to keep in mind to make this thing work. So you have his character, right, who has just been taken on by another character.
Right.
But not just another person,
right.
a woman.
Right.
Right? So
woman and a whole different personality.
This is the kicker. It's not like he gets to make up what this woman's personality is going to be because Lily Tomlin is already playing the character.
Right.
So now he's got to project Lily Tomlin playing Edwina Cutwater if she were to take over Steve Martin as it's like
Roger Cobb. Yeah,
right?
it's a lot. It's really
so. Yeah, I'm brilliant. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say brilliant. I'm going to say brilliant.
So both of them were nominated for Golden Globe Awards.
As
for
they
best,
should have been.
Right, for Best Actor and Best Actress.
I feel like this is the first movie he even attempted to play a straight character. That's a serious character. He's a lawyer. He's playing a lawyer.
Yeah, he said this was a turning point in his career. His mature film career started with this movie. That's what he said.
That makes sense. That
structure and character and all that kind of stuff. I mean, The Jerk is silly. He's great in that.
He's great in The Jerk.
but it's a much different role than this for sure.
Right.
The Academy, the Oscars. I remember Tom Hanks was nominated for Big in like 88.
Okay.
My cousin Vinny was a few years later, and Marissa Tomei won for that. Comedies were never given the respect at the Oscars until a little bit after this. I think his performance in this movie is Oscar worthy.
Yeah, I still don't think that comedies are given respect.
Not at all.
I don't think comedians and comics and comedies and movie, I don't think to this day it's given respect.
Yeah.
Because to me, comedy is one of the hardest things to do.
Absolutely.
You can have actors who can be dramatic actors. They can play historical roles. You can have actors who know how to do voices, and you can have phenomenal actors. I feel like any comedian, and someone may argue with me.
Okay.
Hell, you may argue with me.
We'll see.
This is my theory. Every comedian can be an actor in any other kind of movie.
I think history has shown that, actually.
But I don't think that every person who acts in any other kind of genre can switch to comedy.
That's true. I agree with that.
The timing that has to exist to make it believable, or to get someone to laugh genuinely based on what they're watching, it takes a lot. That takes a lot.
Yeah. Watching this movie again after not seeing it for close to 40 years, I mean...
What was that like for you, watching it after
it was almost like watching it for the first time. I remembered certain things, especially when I did the research before watching it, and I looked up quotes and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that scene. I'm reminded how brilliant Steve Martin is just by watching this movie again. And so I love Steve Martin, don't get me wrong.
Right. But you know what? That answers the question. I don't have to ask the question because the question was, did you enjoy it?
Oh, God.
Right? So it's like, because sometimes we'll see something that we thought we liked, right? It was a movie we thought we liked and we thought was just the best movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go back and we watch it 20 years later, 30, and you're like, what in the holy? Oh, this was so cheesy. Oh, my God. I love it. You go, I still like it. But this was really way cheesier than I remember it being. Like, this is really...
Oh, yeah.
This is really bad. Like,
Yeah, a lot of stuff hasn't aged well in terms of political correctness. This movie is pretty tame. So this movie was PG when it came out.
Yeah.
I read a thing that said by today's standards, it would probably be a PG-13. Actually, when it was first submitted to the ratings board, they wanted to give it a PG-13. It would have been one of the earliest movies to get that. Because I think that they didn't invent that till around this time, like 84 or so.
Yeah.
But they cut some things to get it to PG. I think it's pretty tame.
I think it's very tame.
There's obviously some sexual stuff, but it's nothing, you don't see anything.
It's so very tame.
Yeah. I saw this movie for the first time when it came out. So 1984, I'm like 15 years old. Okay. And I liked it then. And I was actually proud of myself watching it as an adult. I'm sure I've watched it since then, but it's been a while. Watching it as an adult, obviously I have a different perspective than a teenager. But even as a teenager, I got the humor. It wasn't, oh, that's too corny or whatever.
I love the fact that this movie travels well.
Meaning that like 40 years later.
40 years later,
yeah.
It's going to hold the same entertainment value.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be just as entertained.
Absolutely.
As when you watch it the first time. I feel like as much as I love The Goonies, as much as I love it, and I watch it all the time.
It's awesome.
It's an awesome movie. I recognize that if you show this to kids today, they might not be as entertained.
I agree with
by it. Nowhere near as entertained as I was.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
When I was watching it as a kid. Because with that particular type of movie, CGI and the different things that can be done now, I really wish that they had a way to remake The Goonies. Same cast, but somehow CGI those moments that could be CGI to make it more. I don't know. It would.
See,
I think it would be
it.
interesting.
I
love it the way it is.
Yeah.
I love it the way it is.
That's what makes it timeless.
But I would love
for me.
to see it. Right. I would love to see what would happen if they did that and how kids would respond to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. To
You
make it more digestible for today's
the kids today.
Yeah.
Because they're so into video games.
So here's a question for you. I have a buddy of mine who's done the podcast with me a bunch of times, and he's never seen the Goonies. He's a year younger than me, never seen the Goonies.
Okay, well, we're totally cutting his film ticket. He's cut off. He's not allowed. He's not.
I don't know why he never saw it. I think he would have loved it. But here's the question. Do you think watching it for the first time at our age now, would it hit?
I think it might hit a little better for us because we were still young. We grew up in that era.
He could look at it through...
So we can nostalgic. So
right.
even for nostalgia's sake, it taking place in the 80s.
Yeah.
And him going, oh my God, look at those bikes. Like, look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
clothes. Look at
That's
that.
true.
This is so cool. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, I could see how and he would be able to see how this was a very entertaining movie. And he'd understand the humor. And of course, it wouldn't hit him the way it hits us nostalgically because we saw it at
Right.
the appropriate age and appropriate
Right.
time.
I was actually probably older than,
Right.
most, because that was, I mean, I don't know if The Goonies is 100% a kid's movie. That came out in 85, so again, 16 when I saw it the first time.
the answer to that question is no. No, The Goonies is not a kid's movie. There is some inappropriate stuff. Do we not remember?
Inappropriate for sure.
When
but,
Mouth was speaking in Spanish and he's talking about,
that's right.
la cocana and he's telling him, put it in the cocaine goes in the top drawer, heroin's in the middle drawer.
That's right.
And
I forgot
weed
about
goes
that.
in the bottom drawer. Like, what?
I know. Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think I love that this movie travels.
Obviously, there's humor in this, and there's subject matter in this that a young kid,
They
probably
totally
shouldn't see,
wouldn't get.
and they wouldn't get. But I think most of his movies
Yes.
have aged very well.
Yeah.
Because he's just a brilliant comedic talent.
That's what it is. It's the brilliant comedy of it all.
Yeah, so this movie was part of a kind of a slew of like mid to late 80s body swapping things.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so-
hit it. Give
so
it to me. What?
Vice
Go.
Versa was one. That was Judge Reinhold. I can't remember who the kid counterpart
I
was.
do not remember that.
18 Again, George Burns. Like Father, Like Son, which
Yes,
was Dudley Moore and I think Kirk Cameron.
Yes.
And then, of course, Big with Tom Hanks.
With Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
When something works, let's keep rolling them out.
Let's keep rolling them out. Right.
A showmance happened on this movie.
Yes. Absolutely. How often does that happen? I think it happens a lot more often than
It seems to
than we
have
even know.
happened a lot with Jim Carrey. I remember Jim Carrey was in a relationship with Lauren Holly after Dumb and Dumber, and then Renee Zellweger after Me, Myself, and Irene. So a couple of years after this movie, Steve Martin married Victoria Tennant, who plays Terry Hoskins in the movie.
Who plays Terry Hoskins?
What I read was that she was smitten with him immediately.
But I mean, how are you not? Steve Martin is the man.
How do you not love Steve Martin?
Today, right now.
Yeah.
Steve Martin old. He's
Yeah.
still the man.
Only Murders in the Building on Hulu.
Only Murders in the Building.
Still great.
And Martin Short.
Yeah.
Have you done Inner Space? Because if you haven't, I'm signing up.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember if we did Inner Space.
You know what? Figure that out. Let me know.
I'd have to look at the list, obviously.
Yeah.
We're 130 episodes into
Which is
this, so
awesome.
I get fuzzy on some.
The crazy thing is you're 130 episodes in.
This is 131.
So this is 131.
Yeah.
And you're still what? Like how many more millions of movies do
Oh,
we have to?
exactly.
Like, it's crazy. We'll never run. This is
Yeah,
a great
exactly.
podcast. You'll never run out of things or movies to talk about.
I can't remember if we did Inner Space. If we haven't, it's you and I are going to talk about that.
Inner
for sure.
Space.
That's a great movie.
That was one of my favorites as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's awesome.
Just,
Another one that's aged well, by the way.
which has aged well,
Yeah.
right?
I guess if the script is written well, it all comes down to the script.
I think so.
Yeah. One thing that in this movie, and I'm not trying to bring up controversy, the guy that plays his friend that plays saxophone.
The blind guy.
Yeah. He's not blind in real life.
No, he's not. The actor who played his blind friend, probably would not have been cast today because he's not actually
Blind.
So, which I think is ridiculous.
So the funny thing about that actor, Jason Bernard. So
Bernard.
here's a fun little sort of like a 6 degrees of separation sort of thing. So in this movie, Steve Martin is the lawyer who has no control over his body when he's in court representing his boss's divorce and all that, right? So Liar Liar, Jim Carrey movie. Jason Bernard plays the judge in that movie. Kind of funny, right?
He does.
Fun little fact. One movie has nothing to do with the other, but it's kind of interesting.
It kind of does.
Sort of.
Because Jim Carrey is in court
Mm-hmm.
and does not have control over anything that he wants to say
Right.
that does not have anything to do with the truth.
Watching this movie, I was like, holy shit. Liar, Liar borrowed a lot from this movie. Whether it's on purpose or just Jim Carrey might have, been channeling.
Another physical comedian. And for
One of the
him
best.
to use that as, I wouldn't be surprised if he said he did. If he didn't, he definitely was channeling Steve Martin and a lot of his physical comedy.
Oh,
And
for sure.
You channel the greats. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You channel the greats. No need to reinvent the wheel.
The Cutwater Mansion was filmed at Greystone Manor in Beverly Hills, one of the largest private residences in the area at the time.
It was the largest.
Oh, okay.
It was the largest.
I wonder if any other movies were made there. Probably.
Yes, I believe so.
The actor that plays Procalasa,
Procalasa. He is Procalasa. So
Richard Libertini is the actor's name.
I feel like with comedy, this becomes very important.
Mm-hmm.
So in a regular movie, in any other movie, a smaller character is put there oftentimes to kind of bring scenes together or
Right.
bring a storyline together. A lot of times, you're not going to be very impressed with those characters. They're there. They tie something together. They're there and then they're gone.
Yeah, they're kind of like a secondary character.
Right. Or even a tertiary character. This is the brilliance of comedy. You can have a movie like this where you have a character like Procalasa. He's an important part of the movie,
Right.
right? Because he's responsible for some things and he shows up periodically because he has to.
Right.
But he steals the show every time.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to forget Procalasa.
Right.
Like he's not a primary character. You could even argue he's not a secondary character. He's a tertiary character that needs to exist because this is how we're going to get things, moving and shaking when we need to make these changes that happen in this movie. We need Procalasa here.
Right.
For someone who's not even speaking English properly when he does,
Right.
he doesn't speak it at all. He's mostly humming and
You talk about how important Procalasa is to the story. When we talked about doing this, when we decided that we were going to do a podcast about this movie,
Okay.
the first thing that came into my head, back in ball.
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 Back in ball. Back in ball. Back in ball.
I love the scene where he's in the hotel room. He flushes the toilet, and at that moment, the phone rings. They're trying to contact him to tell, she ended up in Roger Cobb and all that.
Right.
So he flushes the toilet, the phone rings, and he thinks that's why it's ringing. So he keeps flushing.
So he's flushing the toilet.
and then he flushes it, and phone stops ringing. He goes, and he kind of gets has a dejected look, and he walks into the other room. And then later in the movie, they do a callback to that, where he's sitting there meditating on his carpet or whatever,
Right.
and the phone rings, and he goes, oh, and he gets up and he goes into the bathroom and flushes the toilet. It's great.
Procalasa. As brilliant as Steve Martin's acting was, as brilliant as Lily Tomlin is in this movie, you don't have All of Me without these minor characters. His friend, his blind friend who plays the sax, Procalasa, who's responsible for getting these souls where they need to be.
And even his boss, his would-be father-in-law.
His would-be father-in-law.
Because I want to make sure I quote it correctly. I made a note of what he says. Roger Cobb says to his boss, he says, I want a partnership. Listen, the day you give up bebop and concentrate on the law, we'll talk. Start talking. I quit the band. As of today, I'm dedicating myself full-time to my legal career. Later today, I'm going to buy a vest. My God, you're serious.
Right.
That's great.
It was almost like he wasn't paying attention to him until he said,
I'm buying a vest.
I'm buying a vest. And he goes, my God, you're serious.
So this exchange is one of my favorites with him, with this character. Burton Schuyler is the character's name.
Yes.
This is Roger Cobb's boss in the movie. So his wife is divorcing him because he's been unfaithful.
Many times.
Right. He's like, Roger, I want you to represent me in court because I need somebody I can trust. He's telling him, the whole story of why they're getting divorced.
Right.
It seems that one of my wife's best friends suddenly lost her husband. Well, women usually do outlive their men. So naturally, she found herself cut off from the normal sexual relations, and she turned to you and you comforted her. I understand, sir, you really didn't do anything wrong. You better believe it. I was incredible. I see, sir. I think I could figure out the rest. Oh, and then another one was widowed. Okay, so 2 little indiscretions. That's not such a big deal. And then another one, and then another. And pretty soon, just going to a funeral would give me a hard-on.
And this is what I'm saying. This guy, there really was nothing wrong with this in the 80s. Like, in him saying that, like, it was just, there's nothing wrong with any of this exchange, like, at all, you know?
All the stuff with Terry Hoskins is funny. I mean, I like that eventually she ends up in the horse.
In the horse.
Yeah.
Which was lucky for her, because she could have ended up nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
She really could have ended up nowhere. But you know what? Another side character. Her father. True. He was another funny one. Like, he just showed up periodically, and every time he showed up, you were like, oh my God.
You know, Sue and I on the podcast more than once have talked about there's no small parts, just small actors. So it's really up to the actor to take whatever they're given and do the best with it.
Yeah.
The actor who plays her father, Eric Christmas is his name. He's always like, it's unnatural, you know. That was like his big thing. Yes. And that's funny.
And he was already a big actor.
Yeah, he'd been. I
know he's already been.
I'm trying to think what else.
Because he's older. He was an older guy then.
What do I remember him from besides this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He was the principal in Porky's. That's what I remember.
There you go. Yep. Porky's.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in a million things probably, but I remember him specifically for that because he's very funny in that.
Porky's.
Yeah. A lot of talented people in this movie.
And the writing was good.
The writing's great.
It was a well-written and well-executed movie.
Yeah. I'm glad to have watched it again. I forgot how much I love this movie. It's fun revisiting a movie.
It really is.
Especially from a different perspective.
It's Steve Martin.
Genius.
Absolutely. All of me, genius.
Yeah. I can't wait to do the next podcast because we have a list of movies, you and I. I'm so excited to get your perspective on them. So,
and I look forward to giving it. I do.
Excellent. I do. Well, thanks so much for listening. Remember, you can contact us, screenfacts@yahoo.com. You could follow us on Instagram at ScreenFactsPod. And please visit jasondavisvoice.com/podcasts if you want to donate to the show or if you want to buy merchandise. And you can also find out all the different places where you can stream the show there as well. And if you want to follow Raushanah, you can follow her on all social media.
At Raw Will Rocks.
Raw Will Rocks. That's RAWILL Rocks.
Rocks.
Cool. Well, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bakambon.